There we go. That'll do it. Alright. For some reason, this thing defaulted. Also, why do I not have... Uh, uh hello? One moment, please. Are you... Okay. Now I can't get the game to work. That's... Everything is frozen and it's both my face. Now my face is the only thing frozen. Game is not. Why is Studio supposed to be better than the normal one? I don't know. It's crap as far as I can tell. This is like every time, I swear. Every time you have to go and deal with this. Okay. There we go. So like I was saying before when everything was muted for no reason, I am Miles Edgeworth, Ace Defense Attorney today, so I'm donning the badge. Alright, let's do this. Alright. Let's see what I can do. Why does this always happen? Does he not know that this is Larry? Why is it like this? Oh, why does this always happen? Whenever I find a girl I like, they always run away. I even chased one of them to Japan. Next it's gonna be prison, I guess. I'll steal that detective's wallet. That'll get me locked up for sure. Nah, I can't do that to someone who looks like he's down on his luck.
He's just talking to himself.
Shh! Be quiet and listen.
I knew it. I shouldn't have done that. I blew it again.
Done that? What did he do, I wonder?
Hey, you! Well, what you just said, I got an objection, pal!
Whoa, what the? Edgy, you dirty rat!
Gumshoe, you oaf!
I'm sorry, sir. Before I knew it, I was shouting objection. And in a loud, commanding voice, too. I even pointed with my pointer finger.
You watched too many trials.
I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay, Larry, the jig is up. What have you got to say for yourself?
I
had this song stuck in my head today. I'm sitting there, I'm putting little terminals in on my computer, and it's like... And that's all I hear for like an hour straight. It's Butts! Larry Butts! Butts! Larry Butts! Okay. Alright, let's do this. Let's talk to Mr. Butts. What is this little shack anyway?
Well, I just discovered it myself yesterday.
And why were you down here in the first place?
Come on, I'm an artist. I was looking for a good place to sketch. But this is a great place. It's artistic.
It's stuck in my head a few days ago.
It's quiet, it's cold, it's got no power, and it looks like it's about to collapse.
Sounds a lot like my apartment there, pal.
One thing's for sure, no one is likely to show up and disturb you here.
So, can I get you something to drink? Some hot water, maybe?
He's getting all buddy-buddy on us, sir.
I kind of want to look at the stuff, because it's great listening to the conversation between Edgeworth and
Gumshoe.
What is this festive-looking ornament? It reminds me of an art class in grade school. We used to have a lot of fun decorating the classroom with origami, remember? Well, Oh, yeah, you were never any good at it.
Willie?
Yeah, this guy was so bad. He couldn't even fold $1, let alone a crane. Everyone tried to comfort him, but he just would sit there sobbing.
Willie? Ha, I never would have expected that.
Be quiet already. I'll never forget the shame of that day.
Oh wow, it even silenced the music of butts. I feel like that, like one part of the song that speeds up is like a huge heart palpitation. I wish I knew which part of the song you were talking about.
You want a crane? I can now make a perfect quarter-inch crane without a single flaw. It took me my whole life of practicing out of shame. You know, Edgy, nothing for nothing, but a quarter-inch crane without a single flaw is not easy.
Yeah, that's quite a feat, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
This is exactly why I hate childhood friends.
Glorious butt music.
This is the Eagle River, so it runs pretty fast, so it doesn't ice over, even in the winter.
And if it had iced over, Rat would have been in some serious trouble.
You're right about that. He would have landed on the ice, slid downstream, who knows where.
Not exactly what I meant, but alright. It's a little far, but I have a pretty clear view of Dusky Bridge from here. I still can't believe it, really. What is it, Larry? Nothing, it's nothing.
Miles' voice sounds like Snape. I wouldn't know. I don't really know Harry Potter.
Sounds pretty suspicious to me.
Something about that statement smells, and you know what they say. When something stinks, it's Larry. The store roof is totally covered with freshly fallen powdery snow.
Well, that makes a nice image, doesn't it? I always did like the rustic look.
Heavenly Hall. I suppose it's an appropriate name in some sense. You got that right. Look at that bridge up there. This place has to be heaven because that thing is hell. You would do well to remember, Larry, that this is a sacred place to some people.
It's Larry Butts.
These go all the way to Dusky Bridge. It's a pretty long walk, but an easy walk.
I fell down 4 times on my way here, so...
Oh, sorry about that, Detective. I ate 4 bananas and tossed their peels on the stairs on my way down here.
What? So that's what I was slipping on.
Be careful on the way back. Those deadly banana peels are still out there.
Oh, that's a real important piece of information right there, Mr. Edgeworth.
See, I love just like looking at this stuff.
That's a horrible graffiti problem you got there, pal.
You don't know anything, Detective. This is art. It's an expression of my bittersweet love for Iris. Larry, do you know what the difference is between graffiti? Do you know what the difference between graffiti and true art is? It's how the artist himself defines it, right? I should have seen that one coming.
Well, if that's the case, then then all my lunchboxes are masterpieces too, pal.
Anything else to look at?
Larry, I don't have to talk to you anymore. Listen to me, Edgy. You gotta do this. You gotta save Iris. Why are you so sure she's innocent? Because she's cute? Watch your mouth! Anyway, I've made up my mind about it. I'm gonna marry that girl.
Mr. Edgeworth is pretending he didn't hear you, so I'm gonna ask for him. Have you already asked this girl to marry you?
No, not yet. But I can tell how she feels by the look in her eyes. She's got this, I really want that man to carry me over the threshold look. I'm sure Nick would be surprised. He never imagined that I could marry such a beautiful girl like that. Something tells me he would be shocked indeed. That's why I didn't want her to do anything dangerous. I mean, what am I gonna do if she gets hurt?
What is this guy trying to say? He lost me about a mile back.
If we really want to know the answer to that, we're going to have to drag him into the witness stand.
The night of the crime.
Come to think of it, you still haven't answered my question. Where were you and what were you doing last night? Oh man, don't you have anything else to talk about? With that kind of attitude, you'd never be a ladies' man like me. Oh, okay, chill out with those scary eyes. I got it. If you really want to know, last night, I saw something incredible.
Something incredible?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say that and then not tell you about it, huh? Yeah, but let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about the good old days. What do you say? Come on, I'll pour you a nice cup of hot water.
Why hasn't he realized that I absolutely despise talking about the good old days, especially with him? Alright, Larry, you wanna go? I'll just throw this at your face. Let's see here. Mega Tomahawk! The night of the crime. Alright. Now you're going to tell me what you really saw last night.
Whoa, you're really upset, aren't you, Edgy? Okay, I'll talk.
Huh? That was a bit too easy.
Yeah, anyway, it was awesome. Never seen anything like it. Around 10 o'clock last night, it started thundering. I've been sleeping. Not sure for how long.
Your voice in the ad-libbing just makes it that much better. I'm really glad you like that stuff.
Suddenly, zing! The world in front of me went white! Just like I'd been slapped in the face by my old girlfriend, Naomi.
And then
it was on fire! The bridge was on fire!
I'll just throw this at your face and... yeah. Dusky Bridge caught on fire? Are you saying you saw it with your own eyes?
Hey! What are you giving me the evil eye? I'm telling you the truth!
There are still 3 Psycholocks remaining. That means he's still trying to hide something. By the way, Larry, where were you when you saw that happen?
Whoa, where you say? What did he mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Just answer the question.
I was in my own room, by the main hall. Where else would I be?
As usual, you're as transparent as an empty jelly jar. Problem, I suspect, lies there.
There? What do you mean, the there?
It's impossible for you to have seen the lightning strike Dusky... It's impossible for you to have seen lightning strike Dusky Bridge from your room. I like how he just straight up states it. He's like, you couldn't have seen it. Oops. Because he said he was in the temple way over there. This is a map of the area. Take a look around the vicinity of Hazakura Temple. I don't know, because everybody else calls him Edgeworth, or Edgy, or something.
What am I looking for?
And I think that should be fairly obvious. The main hall is surrounded by trees, and it's impossible to see the bridge from there.
What? Why didn't you tell me that before?
Well, how about it?
About what?
Do you feel like talking now?
About what?
Like it won't be that easy after all. You leave me no choice. I'll have to move on to the next step. You weren't in your room at all. Or you went in your room at the temple, so then, where were you? I need to know who did it on this. Oh, come on.
You don't want to know? You don't know that I wasn't in my room?
So where was Larry, and why was he here? Why was he there? If I had read the situation up to this point correctly, the answer is fairly obvious. Very well then, let's test my theory. The place you witnessed the lightning strike, striking Dusky Bridge, was from here. Dusky, Heavenly Hall. The place you saw the lightning strike was naturally Heavenly Hall.
Why would I be hanging out in that old shack? It's freezing cold. There's no electricity and it could fall apart any minute.
Larry, how do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet.
Oh!
In other words, you have just provided evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset.
I have to admit I'm impressed, Edgy. You're in a totally different league from Nick.
That's nice. Now tell me. Everyone did it. What were you doing at this cold little shack last night?
That's what you might call a fair decor.
No, I think you mean a fair decor. Did it mean you Could it be you were waiting for someone?
Oh no! You really are one scary guy, you know.
And I believe that last night you were waiting for this person to come meet you. Iris. There's only one person you'd wait in a horrible place like this, Larry.
I told you before, don't call me Larry.
The person you were waiting for was Iris.
Oh, suddenly I feel cold all over, Edgy.
No doubt because of my chilly glare.
But so you think I got the hots for Sister Iris, huh? Did you have some kind of evidence? I have no idea what that means. You got something that proves I was waiting for her, or are you just guessing?
This is where I draw the line and end this ridiculous little game. Here's the evidence that proves you were waiting for Iris. Note to Iris. Here's your evidence. Call her to the spot with a pathetic blackmail letter.
Oh, hey! Give me that back! You're embarrassing me! What are you doing with that anyway?
That's not important. I misjudged you, Larry.
What do you mean?
Taking advantage of a woman's frailty like that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh!
First of all, what's the top of this letter say? It's a salutation here.
Well, that's what it said in the book. Letter writing for dummies.
You're not supposed to actually write that. That's where you're supposed to write, Dear Iris.
Wah! I'm so sorry. I love that. He wrote salutation here instead of his actual greeting. Larry.
Night of the crime. So you were here in Heavenly Hall last night, were you, Larry? You saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you?
Sorry, Edgy.
Sorry doesn't cut it, you scumbag, threatening a young lady like that.
Wait, hold up.
What now, pal?
What are you talking about? Threatening stuff?
I'll tell you what, you tried to scare Iris here by threatening to expose her secret, pal.
What do you mean threaten? When did I threaten her?
Unless you want your secret to be exposed. That sounds like a threat to me, pal. Blackmail, in fact.
Give me a break, it's a love letter. Haven't you ever been in love?
What did you just say?
My love for her burned so hotly, it could melt all the snow on this mountain.
No, then what's the secret you mentioned?
Is Butts a real last name? Yes. Come on, Edgy. Don't you get it? I'm talking about the secret love between her and me. Obviously, she wouldn't want Old Lady Bikini to know about it, right? About our hot and sour, bittersweet love affair.
Alright, then why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope?
Give me a break. It's not my fault I didn't have any other envelopes. Yeesh.
Then why were you so quick to apologize, pal?
It's because Edgy gave me that scary look of his. What's wrong, Edgy? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden?
That's it? That's what all those huge locks were about. I don't understand why you're so defensive.
Well, I don't know either. Guess the thing is, you shouldn't expect too much from a guy like me. Hey, come on. Don't let it get you down.
But Mr. Wedgeworth, this guy's still hiding something, I know it.
What do you mean, detective?
Don't forget what this guy said just a minute ago.
You really want to know? Last night, I saw something incredible.
He's right. Larry.
What? You're looking at me like a hungry dog that just found a bone.
When was this something incredible you saw last night? You're gonna tell me, Larry, one way or another.
I already told you, didn't I? Saw lightning strike Dusky Bridge.
Yes, and I believe it wasn't the incredible sight you saw. But now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true.
What doesn't?
That's all there is to your story. Your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, Larry, I do believe you saw something last night. Something more incredible than lightning.
When? Where? Why? How?
Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you hide anything from Mr. Wedgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal.
Freaking Larry.
Ho ho ho! No!
What's wrong, sir?
Does this mean I have to do it all over again?
Why are you glaring at me like I'm the next one to be hit by a bolt of lightning?
I've just about had it with this Harlequin. If I really want to drag the truth out of him, And I'll just have to drag him to the witness stand.
You might call me Butts, but my lips are tight, that's for sure.
Alright, so this is gonna be friggin' sweet. Here we go.
Oh, my. Mr. Clarice feels that way about me?
And apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing.
Worry not. And in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him.
Does that mean Mr. Clarice is the witness today?
No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand.
Sister Bikini.
She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donimwa, correct?
That is correct. It wasn't me.
Very well then.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes?
You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? And if your true identity is revealed?
Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements.
I see.
Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Aw, friend. Aw.
Mr. Edgeworth?
I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted.
Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands.
Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Ayers of the Hazakura Temple.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Your defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case.
Indeed.
I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. The empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem that this case is already over before it had a chance to begin.
I know, don't prosecutors believe in their clients too? I guess because they are going against the people who are... I don't know. Because in this game, prosecutors don't even have like a person they're defending, or like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant...
The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Franziska von Karma, prosecuting prodigy.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma?
Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma. That is all. Upon my special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then, you must be quite the big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once.
I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor.
Miss von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There's no such a weakling as a man among those of the prosecutor's office. There's no such weakling as this man among those in the prosecutor's office. Ooh, a burn and helping him at the same time. Okay. We're seeing Miles on the other side. Yeah, well, because they're dead. They're alive, maybe. No way. Brother versus sister. I love the Edgeworth thing. Yeah.
There isn't. But I'm sure once before I told you, there's no such a weakling. What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at...
I have no objection to the whip.
You don't?
The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there is still only one truth, and that is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting. Mr. Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face a Phoenix Wright here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you, to slip between my fingers. I know, highly illegal. She gonna whip her brother now? Probably. And the Canadian? Probably.
I see. You brought your flair for the histrionic.
What the heck? Do I have to Google that? Alright, freaking Edgeworth. Google your fancy pants words. Histrionic. Dramatic or theater? Okay.
Flair for the dramatic is what I could have said, but look how smug I am.
Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court.
Well, you're probably in the wrong series then.
Personality disorder for the theatric, maybe? I'm not sure.
Wah!
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well, Miss Von Karma. Please give an outline of this case, with as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Donim. Body was found at Hazakara Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. Woohoo!
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
Crime scene photo added to the court record. There was no mistake. This is the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand.
And so it begins.
The random wahoo. Yeah.
So it begins. They've flipped my sprite backwards, so I better make use of this. My first and last trial as a defense attorney.
Remember though, he wanted to be a defense attorney growing up like his dad. This is his one chance in his whole life where he gets to be a defense attorney and live out his freaking dreams. That was the point. I learned the Canadian accent from watching that guy. At least that's what I was trying to do. Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Hold on there. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all.
Dang it, Judge. He always says I'm not sure about, and he's like, I'm not sure about being not sure if I care.
Witness, please stand up nice and straight.
If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain-plagued witness.
This case, for that alone, makes me happy. Go, Mr. Edgeworth. I love this case just because of all, you get to play him, and you get to play against Francisca, so she makes a comeback. There's so much fun stuff in this case. Gumshoe follows you around.
Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
What? The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. Oh no!
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I am a sight to behold in summer.
In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question.
That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear old Iris could do something like that.
Nice joke. Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movement that night, eh? Movements that night. I know. He said actually wrote a boot. It says a boot there. But anyway.
One night I was helping an acolyte in training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath in the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished it, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it.
So it was simply coincidence you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple?
Yes, you could say that. My back hadn't been in so much pain, it would have stayed at the inner temple.
And that sounds like a pretty important statement you just made.
There is only one problem with the testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle, now are you, Miles Edgeworth?
Does she have memory loss? So many. Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination.
I don't know, like, I'm wondering if I should give you, like, some sort of information.
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... Hold it!
What is this inner temple?
Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong and spiritual power is required.
And you feel like I need a hint. I have nothing. That's why I'm playing the game. This case is, like, not really about Iris. That's probably the biggest hint I can give you.
There's a small temple across the dusky bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training.
How exactly do you help with this process?
It's all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising. Like a tutor, watching to make sure a spoiled child studies.
Tutor with a whip in your case. If that's the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place?
As you can see, my back likes to act up violently.
Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. Wahaha! Wahaha! Wahaha!
On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
That's right. Raging like a bull in a big pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless it was warmed up, it was gonna finally finish me off.
Her back violently murdered Alistonim.
So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple.
You left Iris to help with what exactly?
What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain at the temple?
Well, the job's simply to watch over the acolytes so that they don't pass away.
And just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct?
Yes, she's gentle. She's a gentle, honest girl. She never once failed to follow my directions.
There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, so I needed a long, hot soak. This jacket is smoking hot, and I'm going to not wear it anymore. Sorry. Woohoo! It's supposed to be. Nice, sweet $20 pine hook hanging on. Rich paint. Rich movie.
Okay. Sorry for that. Here we go. Yeah, the jacket is really hot. So, anyway.
So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath?
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do-or-be-done-in kind of world, after all.
And how long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking?
Why, my, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is gonna be, where exactly did you wash? But this is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going on about? I was...
Pathetic, Miles Edgeworth.
The lowest of the low.
Is there some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
I love that. And this is why you press everything. Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for so long, you understand, so... It was just after I'd finished, I was heading back when I saw it. Oh, Miles doesn't have like a Maya or anything to help him, so he's just gonna be conversing with himself, basically.
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. You have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true.
There is indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.
So he just straight up says, hey, there's something. Like he kind of knows it. Whereas Phoenix, it's usually like really... I left Iris to help me with... Phoenix is usually really like vague.
He's just looking, I know it, but now you have to present it. I'm so smart. I'm so smart. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something to me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No! She said that? The defendant a witness. Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? As in the differences between vagueness and directness between Nick and Miles, respectively. Yep.
The defendant
is simply lying to cover her back.
But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi.
That's odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
She does indeed seem to have honest eyes. Why?
All people lie. That is my belief.
Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, you must call your memory into question.
Sorry, I got a text. Hold on. Spaghetti making on counter, meat and fruit. Spaghetti making's on counter. Oh, there's spaghetti out there.
Oh boy, you should probably get the spaghetti.
Dear. You're older than me and you want me to play a game, do you?
Ah, well, that's exactly what I...
Your memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter.
Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence.
Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that that alone would do the trick.
Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination.
carefully crafted trap by none other than the great Papyrus. Iris came to the inner temple. She was just dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Nope. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct?
Of course. That's a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wahaha! 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 Wait a minute.
Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you? The witness had seen the defendant as she claims. Then the iris she saw would have been missing this very hood.
Well.
It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it.
Order in the court. Witness your,
Sister, this hood, you have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares, well, you tend to make too many of them.
Where I see, a stockpile, a surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Then this is quite strange.
If there's a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. Seeds of doubt.
Witness. Well, I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt. You must give every detail with precision.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you will continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple.
No seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. I'm now going to stop talking about stimulation. After my bath. After my... Okay,
Finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard noises from the courtyard and took a look, and Iris was, Mystic Elise. And with the sword of all things. Mystic Elise was standing in the corner room which faces out into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If he was in your place, then it would have been much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that.
And this judge. Imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. Because remember, Gumshoe said something almost just like that?
He was like, it'll be like if we saw you, Moto, and Mr. White in courtroom.
Or something like that.
I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
I'm calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. Well, that happened. How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. About 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge. Still, you never made it back that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway towards the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard, and I took a look, and...
You say you heard a noise?
Thump, just like that. That could be only the sound of the victim falling. Very quiet in the temple, you know. You can only hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump, just like that.
But then, wouldn't this noise you could have heard been snow falling to the ground?
I never thought of that. Wahaha! Wahaha! Wahaha!
Ho ho ho! Oh ho 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 ho! Ah! The next one to the left gets a whipping.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and...
Iris, oh, Mystic Elise, and the sword of all things. This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims.
Hey, what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword, Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it. There's something awfully strange about her.
That's the laugh from one of the Dexter's Lab guys. Isn't his name Mandrake? Mandark. Really close.
Something like that has been bugging me all this time.
And I made the judge do it too. Please, don't keep us in suspense.
Her hood!
Her hood!
That's right, it's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood.
Mandark.
Thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given the hood away to someone, right?
Mandark!
Huh. You've dug your own in the grave, Miles Edgeworth. I'm a-gonna win.
What do you see, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Yes? They initially appear to put me at a disadvantage. Can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I'd like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you only need ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem.
Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on. Are you sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand? It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out. You could be holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip.
What the heck is a whippet puppy? At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on, I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim, eh? Mystic Elise is staying in the corner room which faces out into the courtyard. The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct? Which means the victim's room was on the second floor?
No, the Hazakura Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downward. Which elevates the main gate inside the temple and the guest rooms in the back. About the height of a two-story building.
I see. And the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried all her things to her room after all.
Wait, what? You carried? I thought you couldn't carry anything. Stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of the window. What makes you so sure of all this?
It's just like what I told you earlier. Heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Just like that.
You once smart his sister, I'll give you that.
The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
Friggin' bikini. It appears that the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep. I'm just more than a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
And there's only 2 of them working there. Oh, she's like, I'm the head, so he's like, there's only 2 of them.
What's wrong with Miles Edgeworth? And no snappy comeback remark.
Doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney. So basically nothing, because this is not my forte. Oh,
Dang it. Sorry, this is a long dialogue text too. I meant to present. Alright, so pretty much the autopsy report, I think, states the order in which things happen. And it's not screwed up. Okay. The stabbing occurred after she got pushed out the window. So if you go look at the autopsy report, blood loss from stab in the back, body fell 10 feet after death. She says it was the other way around.
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say, anyway.
Please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report. The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Ah!
That's right, it says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory.
Body fell 10 feet after death, but really she died first, then fell? Yep.
If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim go then how then did the victim go to take a 10-foot fall? Ah! Oh no!
Order. Victim was killed and then fell. That's the case. Then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree?
It is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. Then she was thrown out the window down to the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Mr. Nim's room? Well, she was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood?
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. Not sure how I feel about that. However, there was no blood in the room, then your claim that
I'm sure that there's no need for me to go over this. As I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Indeed. The weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
It's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. Perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
You've come to a conclusion then. Victim was thrown out the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions.
Order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
Seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition from your part and just tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please! Remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now. The weight of the winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. Sister, please, give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
And with the whip...
Oh boy! Alright. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That was when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Amy or Amy or whatever, was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. Wow, so the beginning scene was through Bikini's eyes. I did not know that.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Fiction is an impossibility, Franziska. I'm here to teach you just that.
For the details.
When I look across at the scene, the sword was already in place. And at that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I saw any blood, not then.
I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon is acting as a plug on the wound. And in any case, let's be clear on one very important point. I think if you stabbed a body, or stabbed somebody with a sword that had like 3 separate points, and then they fell out a window, at some point, somehow, blood would appear. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. And carefully, this is very important.
The Iris we're talking about here, I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Never seen so much blood before. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it splattered onto Iris too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further.
What's with her and her full names? I don't know.
Going back to your previous statement, even he was like, get rid of that habit or whatever. You said that you saw the bleeding. You said that you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I must say I saw what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her plain as day.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
What's that gif where they're like, psh, 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 or whatever? All the face palms. We saw it in some movie. And, oh, it was Naked Gun 3 where they all face palm. That's what I need for this. Oh, was that important? I just saw her pulling the murder weapon out of the body. More important than you can imagine. Saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. You know, you just smoothly draw that out. That freaking sword with 7 branches on it. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so. There were too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so we'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen. The weapon was thrust up to the hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. And that isn't the only issue here. If this sword is truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when the blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, that's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a Shigesato Watoi.
Even a weapon of this nature, I still sometimes slide out smoothly and still sometimes stop the blood loss, I guess. I don't know. I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction.
You still got one more.
This one is simple. The sword really was thrust all the way up to the hilt. Why is there only blood on the tip of it? This witness is telling the truth. Then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No! Oh no!
Wah!
I missed what he was saying.
Bravo! I don't know.
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Erasing this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know would maybe manage one, if at that.
What does all this mean?
Edges, get it? Yeah, you're right. Edgeworth.
You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but
having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shijitsu.
what? Whoa! Hey!
A foolishly fool ideal, born from the mind of a foolish fool, who is foolhardy and foolish and such. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think that the murder weapon was this sword? Well, it's because Mystic Ami was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That's what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shikishisto was the murder weapon.
Order again. Wah!
So maybe the Shikishisto is not the murder weapon. Even if that was the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true.
Yeah, but then the prosecution doesn't have the murder weapon.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth.
If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question?
What if it was someone who looked like Ami, who died, and Ami committed the murder? Whoa! Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if this sword-like object was found. That's,
Answer the question, Mr. Von Kerma.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trail without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. Iris pulled out a giant sword and stabbed her and then put... No, I'm just kidding. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible. It's just maybe what actually happened was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
Your shrug looked like his, that was amazing. Oh, that? Murder weapon, I mean, maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of. What? Well then, I think we need to hear the testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible. What else could this old woman have seen? I know, right? I swear, that's half the testimonies in Ace Attorney. Why didn't you tell us that earlier? Saw the murder weapon around 11 p.m. After that, and after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes about 15 minutes to walk the Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She could drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please, tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Okay,
just 1 second. If she's freaking like 30 years old, I'm gonna be like, are you kidding me, Japan? Okay, she's 48. Okay, oh, fine. You get like a slight pass on this one. Here's a photograph. Snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. Tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes. Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
Did you really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Location of weapon. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m.
You are sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Wait, was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. Couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11 I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Your estimation of time seems reliable, at least.
Please continue, sister. After asking that it be reported, I went to the main gate. Oh, the murder be reported.
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right, the one who trampled me.
What?
It seems that she is the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge.
Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him.
He had forgotten it at home, apparently, so we couldn't hear the ringing and beautiful song of the Steel Samurai when people called him. But shame. Everyone loves the Steel Samurai, after all.
I'm more of a pink princess type. Whoa, I'm more of a nickel samurai guy myself.
Anyway,
But a naive boy as always.
Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand too. Hey Ray, I was really scared and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell.
There I saw it, the tracks. Tracks indicated the snowmobile had been used.
as I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
That's it. That's the only one we have. We'll run no matter how much snow falls.
Now you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. She.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, sorry. So, she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time.
I'm not sure this is really relevant. What should I do? I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Mr. Miles Edgeworth?
I'm playing to a slow crowd here. Goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used.
Ah, I see. I never thought of that.
That's right. I overlooked that too.
Of course you did.
Then answer the question, please, witness.
I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow? I mean, I can see some on there. Oh, but I guess that was in the day or whatever.
Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
Yeah, because it would be warmed up.
There wasn't any snow on it. Curses!
Seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge on the snowmobile?
It's about 15 minutes to walk. Less than 5 using one of those.
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? Could have spared yourself some walking.
Ah, there's a reason for that. Have I got a moment to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
About a month ago, I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. Fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. And the tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Thanks for that knowledge. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. It's impossible to get to the bridge and back in 20 minutes using the snowmobile.
Now I have to concede that that is more than enough time.
That's all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth.
Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile. Well, it would have been possible time-wise. One element remains out of place here.
Oh, and what would that mysterious element be?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why would the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River and dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma? Why?
Running to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What?
She's as over. Oh.
And she's as over the top as always.
Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm a-going to win with these points.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Is there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there's surely a problem with this testimony. All I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. 4, 5, maybe through river something. Okay, get a save going on here, and let's get past this person. I want you to eat this weather day. Oh wait, no, it's not weather day. I want you to eat this tracks photo. I admit this photograph proves something. Proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
Finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
However, if the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, naturally there should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
You're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. The night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction, now doesn't it?
Oh, I see. While she was riding at the river, the snow had stopped, leaving just a return of the tracks in the snow. I'm Canadian, so I know all about snow. There we go.
What do you have to say now, Mr. Miles Edgeworth?
Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered 1 set of tracks. Tracks to the river were covered by snow. A nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
Would you care to explain why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. Oh, sorry. No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow, proclaims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, please present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence to the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow.
Witness, Please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for the Eagle Mountain on the night. It is the weather report for the Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder.
The weather report.
Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped around 10:50. I know it does. He's like, take that! Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It's impossible for any tracks to have been. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up.
Ah! Oh no!
Order! Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Kermer's claim has been snowed in. Hey, how about that one, eh? Made her funny. Oh!
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. And to be this, then.
I think you found your calling, Miles. Puns.
When is a weather report ever correct?
Ah, no, you got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data. Ah!
Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true, we cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at the Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far, there's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any more doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
Ah, you can't back down, can you? Such perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where's your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
There's no snow on the body! Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right, but proving that is
incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow. With just one exception.
And that is
the victim herself, Miss Elise Donim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why.
Hi, Scoot. You have a nice nap under the bed? Oh yeah, you're a good kitty. Oh, that's a good.
In other words, the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon. And then in this photograph, there should be two sets of tracks.
Ah!
Order! Just what are you?
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I am not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all these facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple.
Oh, hey, bud. Glenn, you wanna go out? Let me know.
That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple.
Stop. Why are you licking Katie's Tupperware thing though? Don't bite it. Stop it. Sammy. He's biting that Tupperware thing. He sent me some snacks and all. He's licking it. You good? Did you get your licks and bites out?
From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, snow had stopped. Thus the return tracks remained.
You doing good, bud? You need some help? You need some pets? You need some pets, don't you? Oh, yeah. Get a little poop. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What the, sister?
There's only one key to the snowmobile.
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder.
Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press this point some more when I get the chance.
Snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. We tried it once. Ho 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 ho! Have you ever seen a hole that was in the bridge for those 5 years? Yeah. So she must have left on it at Hazakura's. She must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
She didn't have to cross to throw it in the... It sounds right.
What's odd is when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near the Dusky Bridge. You must have failed to see it, sister. Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. Snowmobile, I mean. I knew what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
But that isn't possible.
Order in the court. What does this all mean? I don't know, but I'm ready to get past it.
So, well, then, what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. Thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I got nothing more to add. Told you everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. Only there was someone, a witness, who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
No witness, huh?
Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame.
Hold on. Something is coming to me. Idiots may well have been wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor! Actually, might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder.
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are 2 things about him that do come to mind. Which are... First, he saw something incredible on that night of the murder.
And the second being...
This individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about?
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Leduc. Jean-Luc de Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. What? This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Dunham.
Her student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him, although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
And I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Very well.
Larry?
He heard them all calling him idiots the whole time because he's in the gallery, right? So he's like up there watching the trial, apparently, and not screaming, I guess.
Escaped me yesterday. Today I'm going to get everything out of you.
Court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Kerma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, Kurt is now in recess.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not really sure what to say.
Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are 2 things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
Alright, I'll help you in any way I can.
First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met you and talked with you in the training hall. That you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edgeworth, it's just like I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hazakura Temple.
Very well. Second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the times Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Something between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? Made you go outside to Dusky Bridge?
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Holy mother. Iris?
I can't tell you about that. Yet.
Yet?
Not until her safety is confirmed.
Her?
The safety of the Acolyte.
The Acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya.
It's me, Maya. From the grave. Oh, I've come cold, Neek. Neek, save me.
I have a cold too, Maya.
Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Denim?
That's the 3rd time he's asked her. No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life.
As I thought, no psycholocks. Very well. Maybe it is my job to get to the truth. Discover this for yourself soon enough.
You okay there, bud? Making weird piggy sounds and licking yourself? Alright, let's keep going.
Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Kerma, where's the witness?
During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery.
Suspicious behavior?
He was sketching something very intensely.
Sure, he asked what the witness was sketching when he was detained.
I drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip.
He can only presume that his intention was to capture you. Ah!
Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Larissa Nim, I hope you're ready. Get in here.
It seemed that the whip is going to see plenty more use today.
Ouch! Your sketch is in contempt of this court. Hey, I was just artistically rendering. Ouch! You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use technical terms for the color, Viridian. Oh yeah, I'm an artist.
Larry, this isn't an art store now, is it?
I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is about working in the fields, isn't it?
Working in the fields.
So drawing isn't allowed, but whipping is. Okay, game. I know, right? I presume he wanted to say field work, I hope.
That's it. Thanks, buddy.
It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence.
I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use technical term, Crimson Lake. Oh yeah, I know my colors, man. Oh! Ouch, ouch, ouch! Ah!
Ouch, ouch.
Stop your pathetic babbling and testify like a man.
Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Kerma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. I'm assuming, which is, I think, hockey? Witness, that is all your fault. Testify now.
This is too much for me. I was at that lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked down to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone in the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I itchy?
Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony.
I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small worthless man, aren't I? Why wasn't I asked my name and occupation or anything else?
Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex.
He recently has been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he's been to other people.
Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything. Every case. I'm the big bad mastermind dude. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. That's what happened to that poor Maggie Bird girl.
Well then, let us proceed to the cross-examination with no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time.
Yikes, he's been to court so much he knows how it works. You know, right? I threw some ad-libbing in there that made things a little worse. Might not have caught it since sometimes I just throw it in there really quick. I was at the lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night.
Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
One single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse.
So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, isn't it? And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right? See, you can do it if you try. Ouch! There's only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge.
I love how Miles is just like, my gosh, with that statement. And Franny's like, just tell us what you did wrong, Larry. Okay, I walked to the bridge a number of times, but... A number of times? How many?
Maybe 5 times? Or once every 20 minutes.
Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night.
You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands.
Love, you see.
It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter.
Blackmail?
No, that was simply a product of overflowing love. Ah! You huffy puffy, loosey goosey, excuse for a whimpering, whining woos of a witness.
So, what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy puffy, loosey goosey, excuse for a whimpering, whining woos of a witness, eh?
Well, you see.
Being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, you really didn't see it?
Hey, no need to hit your desk, I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile.
Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Franziska, how do you... No, hold on. We'll get her to talk and then I'll leave it on the screen. Francisca, I believe.
Snowmobile.
If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over the cuckoo's nest?
Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me.
Seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. Nick? Oh, you're right, it does. Sorry. There you go. Franziska. You didn't meet anyone.
That's right, because I got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson-like faces now.
It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth.
Indeed. Seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. Just slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along.
So yeah, he saw freaking Phoenix and oops. But he's not even gonna say that because no, not hold it. Ah, I'm sorry. Okay.
What are you doing there, Scootsburg? You gonna pull out my internet cord? It looks like you're trying. I'm gonna get you if you do, though.
I'm gonna go out of the room.
Larry Butts. Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic and you cause all sorts of trouble.
I'm sorry.
But having realized just how much of a nuisance you've been, that could be considered a step in the right direction.
Edgy, are you trying to console me?
Certainly doesn't sound that way to me.
However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create.
Well, you're totally pinning this on me.
Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder took place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts.
That's right, me in the flesh.
Listen carefully, witness. Doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change.
But what do you want me to do then?
Larry, what you need to change is your inner self, but for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue, is all I need from you.
Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it! I'll testify! Well, I'm not sure this'll go especially well.
Well, ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? Oh yeah, I remember this part. Freaking Larry, though. It takes forever to get to the point.
Went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been around 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window, and Dusky Bridge was on fire, man! It was wicked sweet. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick.
You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire?
Like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. Totally burned out, like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burnt remains is what caused Nick to fall.
What did you say?
No, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold.
Never know with that man. I never know with that man, if he should be called lucky or unlucky.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination.
What I saw, part 2. I went to the shack around 9, so it would have been around 10:30 p.m. What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half?
Well, if you really must know. I was busy being excited, I guess.
Excited, dare I even ask?
It's at the meeting time at 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait. I thought she might come early, too.
Well, it appears that she didn't come at all in the end.
Because they never had arranged to meet in the first place, did they?
Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart! Anyway, I was getting a little worried. Thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so I went to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her.
I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me.
This light was, of course,
Lightning! Like, kaplow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom! Ah!
Or little like that.
What? That's more like a punch from Miranda.
What the crap, Larry? Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge?
Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so...
I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire.
seeing that, what did you do?
What do you think? I was burning up as well from the fire in my heart.
That's why you went to take a look at the bridge.
Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it. I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind.
I'm not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, Witness. There were still some thunders, but I went right away to check it out.
You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that?
The lightning fell and then the bridge caught fire, maybe around 5 minutes. I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out.
How far is this small shack from the bridge?
Hold on, well, it pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk.
And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there?
Like I had recovered a piece from my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare.
Well, should I press him a little more for a little more info?
Sure.
Larry, let me ask you one thing.
What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face?
Why didn't you call anyone?
Huh? What do you mean?
Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try to tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct?
Well, of course I thought of doing that.
So then, let's hear why you didn't.
Well, yeah, okay. My reason isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay?
I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later.
You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright.
Yeah. I better tell someone about this. Then Nick came up yelling about murder. Totally made me forget about the bridge. Fire was pretty much out by then anyway.
This feeling. Suddenly I have a terrible case of unease.
Was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. More or less.
You told me about the burning bridge yesterday. There's still something that doesn't quite fit. Looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth.
I'm not sure I met the prerequisites for us to keep moving forward, but I'll give it a shot. No, I don't think I did, actually. But I don't know why I didn't. Because I'm supposed to talk to him here. And then I get the multiple choice thing. Someone's shooting off fireworks. Because you're supposed to go to why didn't you call anybody, and then I am looking at the walkthrough, but it's something's off about it. Why didn't you call anyone? It tells you to click why didn't you call anyone.
It's weird, but I'll try to present this here because it says you're supposed to revise the statement, and I didn't see him actually revising it, but I'll give it a shot and see if this works. Oh, okay. Oh, it was like on the other side of the block, it looked like. Your very existence being a contradiction, I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not.
What the hey, Edgy? You make me sound like some sort of alien.
But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. Problem here is time.
I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those.
This is much more simple. Saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct?
Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes at first, but more or less.
I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to the Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there around 11 p.m.
Well, sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act.
That is impossible.
What do you mean?
11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there, in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time.
Excuse me, I have an objection. Maybe Wright was killing her.
You do?
Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry, I'm Clarice Denim.
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that.
What's your footing there, Miss Francisca von Kama? The slope ahead is very slippery. For there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m.
Why not?
It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have still been burning until at least 11:15 p.m.
Which means, what exactly?
Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night.
Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by flames that night. He did, though.
In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until the flames had died down.
Oh. I mean, it looks like it's on fire, but...
Larry! You arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest that you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during these missing 15 minutes?
I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback.
Larry.
I guess I'm still sleeping after all. Pinch me.
Order! Ah!
So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to the meeting of a Phoenix, right?
Alright, let's just move.
I hardly see how this is much of a problem.
Yeah, not much of a problem at all.
Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident?
Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you simply there to watch the bridge burn?
Therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring deep into space. This witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty.
That's what it sounds like.
No, but this is Larry we are talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction.
Edgy, I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude.
Just as I thought. Been playing with us all this time.
Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all?
Yes?
I may really say it this time. Everything, yeah!
Let's say it.
Very well, I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, For this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness?
I'm a denim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe I was feeling. I transferred it all directly on the page before I realized that the flames had gone out, and then he came running up.
I suppose artists can be a strange folk.
That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch.
Including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts?
Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains.
And what would that be?
This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him.
You'll regret this, Edgy.
Alright, missing 15 minutes.
I'm a denim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing, dude?
Tell us, Larry.
My name is Larice, get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am.
Just who exactly are you?
I'm Larice Denim, apprentice extraordinaire.
That's what he calls himself in any case.
Then you are an artist?
Of course I'm an artist, the real thing.
Yet again, that's what he calls himself.
Names mean nothing. There was only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing?
Very big issue indeed.
Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art.
Sketching? The burning bridge?
The burning bridge and everything that came with it.
What? Came with it?
You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. Whoa, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What should I do? I got a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there.
The sketch, then. I know what it is. I remember this part.
Larry, wonder if you could please show us your sketch, please?
Well. Even I couldn't have imagined it'd turn out like this.
Imagined what?
That Larice Denim's debut would take place here today like this. Ouch! Show it, now! Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Larice Denim.
So this is Dusky Bridge, correct?
I actually like his drawing, but yeah.
Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Kerma?
Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? I was struggling to reproduce the flames, I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry?
What?
Burning bridge is fine, but what is that unfortunate looking figure?
Oh, you spotted that. I thought you might.
However, I might want to ignore it, I can't.
It's Iris, of course. Iris. I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have a plan for her future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that?
Larry, please answer this next question honestly.
Okay.
Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you really claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames?
Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist.
No,
You. Hi. He goes,
are
you. And then the judge is like, hi. I love that. Are you high?
The girl, she's really high up in this picture. Hi, the girl, she's really high up in this picture. That's so great. Are you? Hi, the girl's really high up in this picture. Ah. Wow, what was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedence for this.
She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. I like how in court there's people who freaking use their spirit medium powers, but they're like, flying, hey? She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see.
This has got to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let's get us back to the cross-examination by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron.
Well, what'd you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me.
Horrible sketch of what he saw at the night of the crime.
Now, let's hurry up and cross-examine him.
Denim, what do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. Saw Iris flying with her white hood fluttering.
Just where were you? Just where did you see the sight from?
Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that rundown shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched for a while there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then after about 5 minutes, I saw it.
The defendant flying?
That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge.
I see. That all makes sense, aside from the sketch itself.
Yes, the sketch doesn't make any sense. Just need to convince the artist that this work is ludicrous.
Shock and awe transferred directly to the page. I know it doesn't even look bad, it's just weird looking.
Transferred everything directly to the page, and that's the sketch here.
Yep, sensational, isn't it? Or should it be scandalous? Put my mind at ease anyway.
It did.
That's right. The reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her, was because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be that Iris undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? It's gotta be it. Alright, go me! Oh, nice, ouch!
Continue, please.
Okay, I'm just gonna move forward on Larry because his voice is kind of drying me out a little bit, so drying out my throat.
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care.
In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you the truth. I'll give you a whole $1 if that's the truth. That it's the truth. Sorry.
If it really is the case, then there's one thing that we can say for certain.
What might that be?
This person who flew over that bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Ah! A foolhardy folly.
Wow, ooh. Folly thrown into there, huh?
Foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolish, foolhardy fool. However exactly, can you make this claim?
Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw wearing a hood, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct?
Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood of my darling Iris. And Iris is my darling hood. Wah!
It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench.
Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift.
Oh, shoot. That's not gonna make Larry very happy.
Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Right who took flight? Well, kind of did, but wearing her hood. Right was wearing her hood. And then he jumped off the... okay, anyway.
What are you talking about?
I think you understand what I mean just fine.
Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood?
What?
Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you, Nick? You dog!
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage.
What is it now, witness? Feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this day to come. Edgy, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you.
What? What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
Hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence.
Definitive?
Evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Maurice Denim, shall prove it.
Didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know about concerning the defendant as depicted in the sketch. Show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, hope you're ready, Edgy. Because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain.
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time, trust me.
Proof that Iris flew.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow with blood on it that I'm just now mentioning. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
Nope. There was one that was lost, and it's really important that you just mention this.
The crystal sphere.
This one, pretty, isn't it? Finders keepers. That sphere, where did you find it?
Don't press, he's taking forever. I know. It's kind of pressing on my voice too, so I'll go through this pretty quick.
Let me see, around here somewhere. Looks about right.
It was half buried in the snow.
It pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
It's mine, okay? I want it back afterwards.
There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood.
What? Blood? Freaking Larry.
You ready, Edgy? Tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore.
Didn't you want to be called Larry's Denim only a few minutes ago?
Proof that Iris flew.
I know, him and Bikini don't need 4 different separate sections of testimony. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. So, I was so worried, I frantically searched all over for her, leading me to find a beautiful crystal sphere buried halfway in the snow. I'm sure Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. I remember this exact piece of evidence. Where is it? There's the crystal sphere that's not on her staff in the other photo. So. Larry, that night, there was someone. Someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was. Who? Who is this stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Denim, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim. And I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar looking crystal sphere.
Hey! That's my photograph, give it back! Ouch!
A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch.
And they look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime.
Ah, whoa, the crystal sphere, it's gone.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What? What? Staff.
Just what does this mean?
No, I didn't say that. Goodness sakes.
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Mr. Least to him.
A fool alongside another fool, on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected.
You can't do that. I saw it with my own two eyes.
And is a crystal sphere. It is nothing more than a red herring.
You honestly believe that?
Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. But Miss Elise Tunim was in her room at the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case, that is all.
Miss Francisca von Karma, only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrained and clowns.
Why are you pointing at me and a picture of Mo the Clown?
The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Did you expect us to believe it has nothing to do with this case?
That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There's blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch.
What? You mean I'm the killer? No way!
All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
Valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Tunim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, somehow, if this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it's not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth.
Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Yes, I can. I'm Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. Simply prove it. It's the only option. That's what he'd do. It's the way Phoenix Wright would do this.
I'm just gonna say something and hope it works!
Yes, that's right. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I'll prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
You'll do what now?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of a Phoenix Wright when he is cornered.
It should come as no surprise, because right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. Although I don't hear the cornered theme playing, which is, kind of the best part.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. The evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
Why is it this? I don't even know why it's this. Cracks? What?
Your response, Miss Von Kerma.
Birds of a feather flock together. Are you familiar with this phrase? Miles Edgeworth. I think one such a bird is calling for its fellow now.
Go, Edgy! Do it! Prove it! Win!
It's cheering. Just always listening.
Oh, did I do it wrong? Oh, I must have done it wrong.
Though I'm listening to the ominous calls of ravens.
So, Mr. Edgeworth, what will you do from here?
One more chance, Your Honor. Can't turn back after coming all this way. time of the murder and when the crystal sphere was dropped. All I need to do is find proof that the latter happened first. Okay.
Well, it's got blood on it. So, why would the sphere drop before murder if it has blood on it?
This crystal sphere was half buried in the snow, correct?
That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it.
That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly.
Snowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. Proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body.
Ah!
Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
What?
Order! There's the corner theme.
On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the crystal sphere to come loose.
What could have that been?
The sphere? There's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of the Dusky Bridge.
Murder didn't take place in Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
And just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma?
Have you been paying any attention to it this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. You saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
That's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
But that's the same thing.
No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding.
Are you forgetting one vital thing? You're forgetting one vital thing, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Listonem's body was found at Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest that someone carried the body all that way?
Nope, they used the snowmobile.
I've made it this far. The only place to take this to is the end. To prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible.
Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation.
Wait a second.
I might have accidentally lied to you earlier when I said that Iris has nothing to do with the case. I don't remember this case quite as well as I thought I did. I think something else actually happened when I remembered. Ah, crud. Oh, crud, that means I don't remember very well. Oh. Tracks photo.
On that snowy night, there's one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile.
Ah.
As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon. But it could also have been used to carry a body.
Order! Wah!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You dug yourself into your own grave.
Yeah, oh man. I think I remember how it actually goes, but I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She was the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin?
You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation.
What?
Where was the victim? At least Tanim really killed. But if her body was moved, whatever for? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean?
You even need to think about that. Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it.
This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he was enamored. Through this, so it is something that actually happened. And stands firm on this point.
Edgy, thank you.
Thanks for that. That settles it then. Cannot give a verdict under these circumstances.
Grr! Grr! Oh no!
Or whatever Mario does. Right? Fulfilled my part in this. It's just as I thought. Francisca von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
Excuse me?
There was one reason, and one reason alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and pass it on to Right.
Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me from that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Franny whipping me all day, ouch, or whatever.
Miles Edgeworth, I don't care what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
The shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by.
What a shame, Franny.
This is all your fault. Such a terrible weakness. You are an affront to all the legal system stands for. Ow, 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 ow. I demand satisfaction.
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and prosecution.
And with this, rest is up to you, right?
Court is now adjourned.
We made you proud, Dad. Hopefully I don't get shut in an elevator by an evil prosecutor on my way home. Used to be a trend around here.
February 9th, 340 something or other. Intensive care unit. It said Hody Clinic. He's in the freaking Hody Clinic. I don't think we actually see Hody, but they did that reference. Okay. I'm still up at this hour, reading through this case. Reading through the trial record of a certain case, which was the last one, case 4, with Mia and Terry Falls. It's still the case. It's the first case my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I have read, I don't want to believe. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I knew. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my ears are ringing, my throat burns, and my head is on fire. No, we're on case 5. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. But I know that he will be able to help me with him. Somehow.
Right? Are you sure that you're well enough to be doing this? You still look a little green in the face.
Or maybe Floridian and artist speak. Actually, my fever has gone down quite a bit.
How's your temperature now? Only 102.2 degrees, nothing to worry about. This reminds me of that first case. Anyway, I read today's trial record. You weren't bad, Edgeworth. Pretty impressive despite the circumstances.
We're not in the clear yet. The main point of contention tomorrow is going to be the murder weapon.
Yeah.
In the end, the Shinjisto did not deliver the deadly blow. Which means that there must be another sword hiding out there that we don't know about.
Another sword, huh? Don't you worry about a thing, pal. I'll dig up the mortar weapon myself or I'll eat my coat. Thanks again, Edgeworth. I'll handle things from here.
That is probably for the best.
So case 1 was Phoenix when he was a little kid wearing his pink thing. Case 2 is Mask to Mask. Case 3 was the Gene Armstrong and like the poisoning with the fake Phoenix. Case 4 was Terry Falls and playing Mia with Diego Armando. And then this is case 5.
That is probably for the best. Actually, I was thinking about paying the old precinct a little visit. There's something I want to look into.
And that is?
Our client's background, naturally.
I mean, I was sore.
I have the feeling that we've met before. All I want is confirmation, one way or the other. Since I probably won't be getting that from you,
I'm sorry, Edgeworth.
but you would do, right? Take care.
Guess I should be getting moving too. Why? Do you need to be somewhere? Yeah, I gotta get to work on the bridge, pal. I'm working something up so we can get across to the other side. Ah, that's right! Maya's stuck over there, still stuck over at the inner temple, and so is Pearl. Don't you worry, pal. As soon as it's all set, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, Gumshoe. A cough. No problem, pal. Just try not to give me that cough of yours, okay? All right, I'm off. Hang in there, Maya. We'll get you out, I promise. But in the meantime, I gotta continue collecting evidence. That thing looks like it's ready to collapse. At least more so than it did before. According to Bikini, Eagle Mountain is very prone to earthquakes. Which reminds me. If my memory serves me correctly, Edgeworth isn't exactly a fan of earthquakes.
Come on, please. It's for art's sake, I swear.
There's only one guy I know who could be this persistent and high-strung.
I'm talking about the heroine here. The heroine in my book. It'll make you famous.
Ah, enough. A fool's fool who foolishly accepts the foolishness of a fool's fool. Wouldn't you agree? Phoenix right? Me? Wait a second. I know you. You're, ow! Your reflexes and mine need to shape up. My brain's frying like a sunny side up, and you want to grill me over a name?
Francie, you can't do that. Even as we speak, Nick's on the brink of death, or so I'm told.
Whip a dead horse. Isn't that one of your American sayings? No, it's not, and I'm not on the brink of anything.
Come on, Nick. Tell her, would ya? Oh, she needs to model for my new picture book, Franny's Whippity Whip Trip. Ah!
Before you ask me to model, learn to give at least semi-coherent testimony. Before that, you'll have to learn how to live a semi-coherent life, Larry.
I don't care what anyone says, I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw. She flew, I'm telling you, whoosh, just like that dude with the red underwear. Just like that dude with the red underwear. Oh, Superman. Don't you think? Don't think I'm gonna forgive you guys when you come crawling back to apologize.
Off he goes. It's amazing how little has changed with you in the past year, Phoenix Wright. Have you been in Germany all this time? That's right. Extending my perfect win record, naturally. Oh, joy. Sounds like she hasn't changed a bit. The
really been a year since we first met? I'm a Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany to come to this country for one sole reason: revenge. Franziska was born and raised in Germany and became a prosecutor at the age of 13. Her father was a legendary prosecutor, Manfred von Karma. He had a perfect win record for 40 long years. But now he's gone from this world, so he's dead apparently. Don't tell me you still hold a grudge against me. Because of what happened to your father? Phoenix Wright, you will fall before me, this I promise. But it will be for my sake, not my father's. Are we clear? Yes, Crystal. Also, that never happens. Spoilers. In truth, I was shocked. I came back to America with the intention of defeating you. Instead, it was my little brother who was leading the defense. Is he older than you? Edgeworth, come to think of it. Edgeworth was pulled into being a prosecutor by Manfred von Karma as well. Yeah, he probably did. Miles Edgeworth told me something very interesting, you know. He said that this case had a special significance to you. Because it does. And that's precisely why I'm here. Your personal involvement will make crushing you into teensy-weensy pieces all the better. It's probably the fever, but she's so openly hostile that it's almost kind of cute. Ow! No smirking. No whipping the sick. That foolish fool doing such a foolish favor for such a foolish fool. Edgeworth. Make no mistake of Phoenix Wright. I came here for one thing, and one thing only, to pulverize you. It's not like I thought you were here to bring me some Cold Killer X, you know. The old references to Case 1. I went over the whole case on file with on the flight over. You read the whole thing? Yes, every word of every last sentence of every last paragraph. All the ridiculous things you did to make a very interesting read, you know. All the ridiculous things you did made it a very interesting read. Attempting to cross the burning bridge, did you even consider the dangers? No. The only thought in my mind was I have to get across. A fool who doesn't think is more foolish than a fool who foolishly thinks. She said he let me know once the bridge was repaired. Maya, she's gotta be okay, I just know it. Plus, I need to ask her about what really happened at the inner temple that night. That was one long sigh. Sister Bikini? My, I didn't know you were here. How are you doing? Wahaha, wahaha, wahaha. You don't have to pretend to be in a good mood for my sake. I suppose I've made a terrible mess of things, haven't I? I let Mystic Elise die, and then there's Iris as well. Mystic Elise? Now that I think about it, An acolyte stuck at the inner temple. And that poor little girl has gone missing too. That little girl? You don't mean Pearls, do you? Yes, I'm afraid I do. She hasn't been seen since the morning after the incident. Pearls? She's missing? Why didn't anyone tell me about this? Must be getting old. I think I've seriously lost faith in myself. Are you talking about your performance at the trial today? You believe me, don't you? I'm not a liar. I would never lie. I know what I saw. I saw Iris pulling the sword from Mystic Elise's body that night. I'm certain of it. At least I was until this morning. I don't see any Cyclops, so she must be telling the truth. So why are you unsure of yourself all of a sudden? Hey, they didn't say he gave it back, but... And wait a second, a present from Maya, it's a present from Pearls. Come on, game, you know that. So why are you so unsure of yourself all of a sudden? Oh wait, it was a present from Maya, and then Pearls powered it up. So it's, okay, yeah. No, that's right, it's right. Like a present from both of them. Okay, anyway. You know the artist who testified after me? I saw Iris flying and her white hood fluttering. Felt like I might start flying myself. I saw that man testify so fervently about something so impossible, I started to wonder if I'd acted just like him when I was on the witness stand.
I wouldn't take that guy too seriously. He's an artist, but all he does is draw trouble and nothing else. I'm not 100% sure. If both Bikini and Larry are telling the truth, that can only mean that one thing. They both didn't see what they think they saw. On the night of the incident, you met Iris at the Inner Temple, is that correct?
That's right. I'm sure it was Iris.
But Iris claims she was in her room at the Hazakura Temple.
I knew I shouldn't have come back here that night.
But because you did, Maya's stuck all by herself in the Inner Temple.
I'm so sorry. The drafts in that place are nothing to shake a stick at. Winter's especially bad.
I'll bet the training hall looks like it's about to fall down any second.
Eagle Mountain has always been prone to earthquakes, just so you know.
Earthquakes?
Bro gave him the Megatama, right? Because Maya was like, what? I think so. Since she wasn't there since she was kidnapped, right? Yeah. Well, wait. I think you're... It wasn't that she was kidnapped, it's that she was being held for murder of the Dr. Gray guy. But it was actually Einy Meiny, and that's when you got the Megatama the first time. And you don't even like speak to Maya, she just goes straight to like the jail thing. So she either gives it to you while she's like in the jail, which I don't think happens, or Pearls does. So I think Pearl does it? Maybe Pearl is asked to give it to you? I can't remember exactly.
Earthquakes?
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one levels the training hall.
We gotta get Maya out of there fast.
But still, there's really no need to worry. That area on the other side of Dusky Bridge is isolated like an island.
It's like an island? How so?
Well, the only thing on that side of the bridge is the Inner Temple. No one lives out there, and it's surrounded on all sides by the river or forest.
I see.
So a criminal would be trapped should they choose to flee in that direction. As long as the bridge is out of commission, he or she will have to stay there.
That means Maya could be stuck out there with a murderer and no way to escape either.
Oh dear! Yes, I suppose it does.
Please, Gumshoe, get that bridge up faster.
At least to Nim. I'm curious about a few things if you don't mind answering some questions.
Oh, do you need to know my measurements for your investigation or something?
No. I want to know a little more about the victim, Miss Elise Nim.
I'm afraid I don't know her waist size, or her bust size for that matter.
No. I mean, I'm more interested, but still no. I'm wondering why she came here, stayed at a place like this to begin with. I mean, she told us herself that she wasn't here for spiritual training.
My, you make it sound like this place is some sort of dump, Mr. Wright. Mystic Elise was here to soak up the natural beauty of Eagle Mountain, just so you know.
There. You did it again. Sister Bikini, I noticed you always refer to Miss Nim as Mystic Elise.
Oh!
Yes, now why is that? After all, she's not here as an acolyte.
Well, we address all visitors as mystic. It makes their experience feel authentic. But anyway, she's older than me, so you must respect your elders, you know.
How do you know that? How can you say for sure that she's older than you?
It seems Miss Elise Nim is no ordinary visitor after all. And there's Pearls. She was with Miss Nim on the evening of the murder, and now she's vanished. It's all gotta be connected somehow.
Why did Pearls get mixed up in this mess?
Please, Mr. Wright, I know you're worried, but please try to keep it together.
Oh man, my head's throbbing so bad it's killing me. Pearls, she was with Mr. Nim on the night of the murder, remember?
Yes, but I have a temple to run, you know. I was busy preparing the training, and I didn't see the little darling even once after we finished eating dinner.
Mr. Nick, save me, Mr. Nick.
The murder, it didn't take place right in front of our innocent eyes, did it?
According to the detective, she hasn't turned up at her home either.
Come on, keep calm. There's one place left where Pearls could be. She just has to be there. Come on, Gumshoe. Tell me you're done with the repairs soon. This is where Sister Bikini witnessed the incident.
Hard to imagine she was lying on the stand, so maybe there's some clues yet that I've left to be found. All right. I don't know why, but you have to move here and then back to the main hall again.
Hey!
What was that jarring, inconsiderably loud yell?
So this is where you've been. Keep it nice and warm, I see. Detective, have you finished the bridge? Yeah, I did. I told you I'd let you know.
Well, I'll come along with you and...
Sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case.
What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me.
Well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. Ah!
It's been a while, Scruffy.
It's... Miss Von Karma!
Sister, please leave the investigation to me. My, well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. I am on your side. I won't do anything you don't want me to.
As you work to pin the guilt on Iris.
What were you daydreaming about, the Phoenix ride? Ow, that hurts, you know. Silence. Francisca Von Karma will personally guide you through your investigation. So you will follow me.
She's not seriously going to follow me around, is she?
And now Francisca is following me the way that Maya usually follows me. It is now... It is now... Right and Von Karma. Together at last. Larry's gonna be like, what the heck, man? You get all the ladies. Alright, gotta go to the training hall, and then I gotta examine stuff. Wait. I'm not in the training hall. Good job, Gummy. Okay. So that means that there's probably a whole bunch of dialogue if I go and examine stuff with her with me. Now it really is more of a dusty bridge than a dusky bridge. That kidnapping incident happened here 11 years ago, so maybe it's cursed too. Or maybe not. Maybe this... Since this is a scene that we've been to before. See if there's anything at Heavenly Hall. It's like no one's here.
Larry!
Clarice? I was sure he was hiding here. Guess I'll try again later. That stuff's really ruining the beautiful atmosphere around here. It's so inappropriate. Like Sister Bikini in a bikini. Gotta think of the kittens. Kittens? What? I'm so confused, Tweenie. Alright, so let's go across the bridge, because that's been locked. I like the phone in the birdhouse. Oh yeah, it's kind of cute. February 9th, Inner Temple Gate. Things have certainly become a lot more hectic than before. It must have commenced with the investigation.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
That voice! It's unmistakable! Pearls!
Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick.
He thinks of kittens, so I don't think of her in a bikini. I assume. Yeah, it's just a random thing for him to say, though. So you were here ever since that night?
I was so lonely. I thought I was going to die. When I woke up in the morning and saw that Dusky Bridge was gone, I realized I was all alone.
She was all alone? It must have been a very trying experience for you, little girl.
Ah, you're...
I'm a Francisca Von Karma, the prodigy. There's no need to worry now that I am here.
You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Mystic Maya last year.
Well...
I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean, I'll never forgive you.
Looks like Pearl's words are getting under her skin. Ow! Why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything. You didn't have to. The smile on your lips gave you away. Anyway, Pearls, weren't you with Maya?
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. What are you talking about, Pearls? Mystic Maya. Hey, wait, Pearls! She just ran off. Ow!
That was cruel, Phoenix Wright. To make a little girl cry like that was inexcusable.
What was that all about? Pearls acting like that, it's giving me the creeps. I guess I better take another look around since I finally got the chance, especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open, almost like it's begging me to look inside. Well, well, let's see what stunning clue is concealed in here, shall we? Huh? It's empty. How naive of you, Phoenix Wright. But it's a bit strange, don't you think? Franziska von Karma? I seem to remember... there was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently.
Listen, Phoenix Wright. It's impertinent to call people by their full name.
I was only copying you.
Phoenix Wright.
What? And why would you... and would you stop calling me by my full name like that?
Was this once a prosperous port?
A port?
Yes, that metal hook is a mooring post for boats, you know.
Oh, that's an anchor for one of those wires that was used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire that was tied to this one probably snapped when the bridge burned down. I mean, there's no way there was ever a port all the way up here.
Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright.
But I didn't say anything. I'll examine like one more thing and then we'll get moving. Look at all the Buddha statues lined up along this path.
Phoenix Wright. Do you think that this is how many siblings the head nun has?
Why don't you ask her the next time you see her?
You know what? I think I will.
And she'd probably slap you for prying into her private affairs. So yeah, we're wandering around with Franny. I think she gets wrecked pretty soon though. Oh look, a Megatama. Or not a Megatama, a Cyclock. I'm glad you are.
What's wrong? Why are you so quiet?
Maya, she was supposed to be in here training.
It appears she's nowhere to be seen.
What's that? That strange lock. It wasn't there 2 days ago. This whole room is really giving off some strange vibes. Oh yeah, I remember some of this evidence. This door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it.
Those chains, it's almost as if they're guarding something inside the cavern. Never seen a lock quite like this before.
I have. It's locks and chains just like... I've seen locks and chains just like this before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during Cyclock. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. I remember this.
What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright?
It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually...
A woman? I don't see a woman here.
There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere, it's a different smell. It's... gravy.
What's the matter?
This scroll. It's been completely covered in gravy.
Ah yes, there's a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce. And when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see.
No, no one does that. For starters, it stinks. This must be the gravy that we had with the roast on the night of the incident. But why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? Misty face image obscured by gravy. I think I remember the scene. What took you so long? I thought even you'd manage to get here faster than this. Yep, Mr. Tried. Oh, if I remember, this is where Franny gets owned or something like that. But Prosecutor Godot, I didn't know you were here.
prosecutor. How come you didn't show up at the trial today?
Ha! I could ask you the exact same question.
Huh? But I had a cold, so...
I had something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding.
Enough. I believe I have the measure of you. We're the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial?
Who's the wild mare tried?
This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today.
Ha! Well, I guess I owe you one then. But you can go now, princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins.
Just who do you think you are? This case is my...
Hey, filly, I know your role. Know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand women like you. I'm only going to say this once, Lady von Whippingberg. Go home.
Phoenix Wright! What are you hitting me for?
Ha! You deserve more cracks of the whip than that, try it.
What?
You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you've set something in motion that you'll never be able to undo.
There's something different about Godot today. I'm getting such a strong sense of something from behind that mask of his. Is it anger, or is it sorrow? Let's talk to Godot. You had some important business, and that's why you weren't in court, huh? So what was it?
I've told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. You see, Trite, I've experienced something most have not. Death.
You died?
Of course, being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and readjustment of all your internal organs is... well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me.
So you mean that mask you wear is...
This ugly device? I promise it is not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face.
I didn't know.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with a regular servicing.
I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death. How is that possible? What happened? There's actually been like little things along the way, because he's mentioned his eyesight, I think, like in 2 different cases already. I can't remember exactly where in Mask to Mask, but he was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I didn't see that. And then there was another time in the case with the French thing where he was like, why didn't anybody tell me that? And they're like, because you can just see it. And he's just like has sight issues or whatever. How's that possible? How's that possible? What happened?
Why don't you ask him?
Huh? Me?
Yeah, that's right, you. You should know all about it. You know when my life ended, and who ended it for me.
Well, Phoenix Wright, do you? I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a little tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed.
It will all come clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite?
Earlier, you said I've done something that I can never undo. What did you mean by that exactly?
The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island.
That's what Sister Bikini said too.
I wonder, Trite, do you know what the police are doing here today?
What do you mean?
They're searching for any trace of an acolyte who went missing.
Missing?
As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty.
Thought it was obvious he didn't have his sight though. He can see, but his vision's just screwed up.
Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge.
Huh? But But that's impossible. She came here that night and...
I won't say it again. The chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place.
One? Where's that?
The Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore.
So they haven't searched the cavern yet, huh?
Be aware, though, that the temperature inside it frequently falls below freezing, even if she were in there. The chances of her being found alive are slim at best.
No!
Which means, Trite, that you sent Maya Fey to her death.
You fool! If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with the search party right now? Well, I meant without the goggles. Oh, without the goggles, he's probably like blind or something, yeah.
You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? It's a trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite. Once again, a woman dies because of you.
Well, just let that line sink in for you. Once again? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. It was only 2 years ago, after all, when the last unfortunate woman died because of you.
Because of me?
And do you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey.
Mia?
You killed her.
No, that's not how it was.
It was 2 years ago. Mia Fey was pursuing someone, a man. She bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy.
Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally.
Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught, but that won't bring her back.
Well, no, but...
You were with her at the time. You and no one else. It was your responsibility. You should have protected her. You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well then, I say you've learned nothing, Trite. You robbed her of her life, and now you let her sister suffer the same fate.
I haven't sentenced Maya to death, no. So, obviously he's Diego Armando, right? And after he's like in enough, his body's in enough working condition or whatever, he's come back to basically test Phoenix to see if he is basically worthy. That's like his sort of motivation for being like a prosecutor and going and canceling cases and stuff to go against Phoenix. What is this peculiar looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? It would be simple. It would be a simple matter of...
I'm afraid we can't do that. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors have weakened the foundations of the training hall. Any excessive force used to break the lock open could, well, let's just say the inner temple and the sacred cavern would be a thing of the past.
Very well, then I dare suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key. Worthy of being a lawyer? More like worthy of being her successor, I guess. It wasn't Wright's fault, but he like blames him for it anyway. Because you have to understand, like, he wasn't there. He was like in a coma or something, and when he woke up, his girlfriend was dead. And like the one guy who should have been there, like, just wasn't there, I guess. And so he just... That's like why he hates... That's why he calls him Trite and hates Phoenix. Anyway, very well. I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key.
Ha! Sure, just show me where the keyhole is on this trick lock.
There's no keyhole.
That's right. An interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who can open it.
Then who was it?
Simple, the accused.
What? Iris?
When an acolyte undergoes training inside the sacred cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder is no exception. Maya Fey was to train in there.
Sister Bikini did mention it a number of times now that I think about it. She said that Iris is left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training.
So Iris, the accused, is the only one who can open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now.
Iris is the only person who can open this lock? I hope she gets here soon. Hang on in there, Maya. We'll get you out.
So, I should be getting back to work.
Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you?
There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the sacred cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. Better start praying. You better pray that friend of yours brings the accused back here soon.
Edgeworth?
Listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never.
You should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. That's what everyone says.
Looks like I don't have much of a choice. Guess I'll just have to do what I can for now.
I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? I don't know who this is.
Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Oh, I was right.
Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Oh, my brain. It's driving me nuts. Ah! Is something troubling you, Scruffy?
Everyone should choose their friends carefully. Yep.
Please don't wet me like that all of a sudden, Saw. It was merely a simple greeting, a friendly tap on the shoulder, with my whip.
Oh, so what's up, Gumshoe? Something on your mind?
Oh, how did you know, pal? Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not. How did you know, Saw? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay?
You mean that one that says no entry on it? What? Oh, that's probably what that sign says in Japanese.
I, kinda already snuck in now.
You trying to be clever or something? I think so. She just calls him like Scruffy or whatever.
So what's that behind there, Scruffy? Huh, kind of garden-like. It's a kind of garden-like area.
Garden?
Yeah, anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me?
I'm not telling you, I'm asking you.
Isn't it normally the other way around? Well, see you later. So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright?
Of course. What else would we do? Really want to know what Gumshoe is thinking of washing off. The sign says Inner Temple.
I don't know how you're reading it, but it's incomprehensible to me.
Actually, I can't read it either.
And incomprehension isn't a very good habit to have, Phoenix Wright.
He looks really happy to have finally caught me on something. There's a little gate that leads to the garden. It says no entry on the sign, though.
Come now, Phoenix Wright. What are you doing? Let's go in. It's halfway open anyway. What harm could come of it?
But it says no entry.
Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and simply saying whatever?
That's got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? Maybe because he wants to investigate or he dirt. It's hard to tell, honestly. Gumshoe won't really get much in your way anyway. Oh yeah, that's what he was thinking about washing off.
It's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is.
Strange feeling? Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern?
Ah! What are you doing here, so? I thought I said you can't come in here. Don't you know, Scruffy? A Von Carminer will always show up wherever there is a clue. And there are plenty of clues to be found here.
But... oh, we gotta examine that.
What the heck is that?
Uh-oh. You spotted it, huh, pal?
Kidding me? It couldn't be more obvious. It says Maya.
Yeah, and before you ask, it's written in blood.
We'll always answer all of our questions now, Scruffy, without exception.
Yes, sir. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. It's almost perfect rectangle. It couldn't have happened naturally.
Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. No doubt it was you, huh, Scruffy?
No, it wasn't me, so.
It was already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. If it wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Just between the three of us, okay? What is it? Top secret. You can't tell anyone. Got it? Understood. Well, when I was a kid, I got knocked out in a local wrestling contest. See?
I was so disappointed, I just picked up my mouth guard and cried all the way home. Man, I got in so much trouble when I left it on the couch.
Is that it?
That's it.
Ah! Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason. Although I can't even begin to imagine what the reason would be.
There's a charm or something poking out of the snow. It looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it too.
Apparently it belongs to the victim. Miss Elise Tanim. Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cord found on both the victim and on this charm match exactly.
Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Worn by Elise Nim, found in the garden of the inner temple. Oops. A little lantern, a little statue.
It certainly is a quaint little garden. Oh! What's this huge bowl for? Oh, I know that one. It's a water bowl, isn't it? Everything else is completely frozen over, but the ice on this bowl has been broken.
That's true. I wonder if this place has any impact on this case. I wonder if there's any impact, yeah.
Oh, well, I doused my face oil with the water on this. I was getting kind of sleepy. Next time you're sleepy, you only need to come to me, got it?
I don't... There are a couple of torches here. I guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains.
Yeah, I was looking at those things, pal. Looks like they've been lit pretty recently. Recently? How recent are we talking about? As recent as the night of the murder.
Maya was training here on the night of the murder. If it's not unreasonable to think these things were lit up at the... It's not unreasonable to think these things were lit up at the time, I guess. Okay. So yeah, you know, Maya's name written in blood. So how's the Inner Temple investigation going?
We had the best forensics team in the world working in the place.
Forensics team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study?
Nothing. Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle.
That's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that?
Uh-oh. Well, there was a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, so...
That stone lantern and the... Oh, that stone lantern and the surrounding area is not covered in snow, correct?
They look kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were... It's kind of hard to say, actually.
I guess I'd better look into them myself.
About Maya. Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet?
Yeah, we heard.
Got a search party out looking for her, but there's nowhere else she could have disappeared to on this side of the Dusky Bridge.
All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal.
Edgeworth? He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here.
We have to wait, since she's the only one who can open the door with to the sacred cavern.
Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal.
I wonder what it is.
Don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down, I felt like I was drowning.
Sounds pleasant. Maya, so these letters are written in blood?
Yeah, what's worse is it's the victim's blood.
Huh? This is Mr. Nim's blood.
We haven't done detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal.
Most interesting. Phoenix Wright, I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down?
You know what? That was really bothering me too. I just came up with the answer, the result of my own special gumshoe investigation.
Really? Do tell.
Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down.
Anyway, there's really only one logical explanation to this mystery.
Miss Listenim wrote these letters herself, in her own blood. You must be joking. That's impossible.
From the writing in the victim's blood to the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elistenim's murder. At least that's what our current theory is of how the event took place, pal.
What? True crime scene. So Mr. Nim was killed here?
However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now.
Then what Sister Bikini saw in the courtyard at the main temple was... Well, what was it? If that wasn't the scene of the crime, what did she see?
What do you think, Miss Von Kalma?
Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal the answer, no?
Wait
Wait a sec, the bloody writing and the bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right?
Sorry, but that's not an option, pal.
Why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned down.
I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Which means no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal.
I can't think of a counter-argument to that.
I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here.
If this really was the scene of the crime, then I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. Okay, yeah, so I'm done talking to Gumshoe. So now I need to go to present the Mega Tomahawk. Oh. Oop. Okay. Seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright. Iris, I'm really glad to see you.
Godot managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency.
Not him again. Never mind him, we gotta hurry and unlock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later?
Alright. Let's hurry to the inner temple then, and I'll see you later, right?
Wait, Edgeworth, I'm coming with you guys.
Sorry, right? I can't allow you to come with us.
What?
I hate to be the one to break it to you, but my FA is in a rather delicate position.
What do you mean by a delicate position?
This isn't simply a rescue operation, right? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere.
Come on, Edgeworth.
If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, right?
But it's Maya. Mr. Wright. All that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? Listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright.
From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. Be going now? Excuse us.
Damsel and degreased. I love that. I hear something loud outside. I don't know what it is. This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. What are the things that demand your attention? He's right. Thanks for reminding me. Alright, lady. Do this. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk since the last time I saw her. Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My. Hello, you two. How are you doing? Wahaha, wahaha, wahaha. From the sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down. Iris is just here, you know. She was accompanied by the handsome crimson-clad prince. She talking about Edgeworth? It's just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's my fault that all this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back, would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to do, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that. And we'll see it to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain.
Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Blue Suit doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see.
Huh? Me? Ah!
Glare.
Oh yes, you did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular.
You two are the only ones who said that to me.
I can't shake the feeling that I just became a shill to a shrew. Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that, but I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break those cyclocks of hers. Alright, I'm out of water, so I'm gonna go grab some water. Alright. So it's pretty late. Pretty late for me, for sure. So we're only going to do a little bit more. And then probably call it. Let's see how far we got. Oh, well, that's actually a pretty good... What's that here? There's a lot left in this case. Goodness sakes. Alright, well. So we're going to... Where is it? There it is. We're going to finish talking to her. We might talk to like one other person and then we'll call it. So let's figure out what her secret is. At least to Nim. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise de Nim had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity.
What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author. Just an author of picture books.
To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her.
Suspicions?
Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss de Nim's true identity. Terrain Master's Talisman. Miss de Nim had this charm with her at all times.
Ah, where did you...
This isn't some cheap good luck charm either.
Then... What do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What do you think this talisman could possibly mean?
It's a talisman, is it? Interesting.
Oops.
This thing speaks volumes about who Miss de Nim really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss de Nim's true identity. This painting is obscured by this gravy stain at this moment, but the scroll shows the master of the curing channeling technique. The crest at the top is the sign of the honorable title. The very same crest that adorns this talisman the victim carried with her.
Ah!
This crest is reserved for the master of the curing.
Who on earth told you that nonsense? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The new master, Maya Fey, told me.
What? What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Fey's
daughter? Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. In fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fey's sole successor.
Mystic Misty!
Mystical Elise graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with the mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. What is the significance of this talisman, sister? Curain talisman is a symbol of the master of Curain. The bearer must carry it with them at all time, always until their death. Till their death?
So Elise Denim was really Maya's mother, huh?
She was Misty Fae, master of the Curain channeling technique.
The truth comes out at last. It looks like we're making some headway here.
Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding.
What happened?
Well... What's happening? It can't be. Earthquake! Ah! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might... Inner temple? The sacred cavern in the training hall might very well cave in! What? Maya! It seems to have passed.
Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Let's go.
What? Where?
To the inner temple, of course. Where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, all right?
Of course. You run along now. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Come on then, Phoenix Wright. We want to bar you from entering as long as I'm with you.
Thank you. Right at that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake. I wonder if he's all right.
And Maya. Both are weak against earthquake, ground type attacks, Pokemon, I don't know. You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth? What about Maya?
Come on, let's go.
We're gonna go over there.
We gotta hurry to the inner temple, right? Ah, what are you doing here?
How could I have?
How could you expect us to understand if you don't speak up?
Yow, hey, why am I the one getting whipped?
She's gone.
No!
The defendant, Iris, she's gone.
On where?
She fled. She escaped.
What?
So, it was just now, during the... It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness. His fear of earthquakes.
I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. And as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out.
That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it?
That's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. Can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so I could have only escaped to this side.
We haven't seen her.
We need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom.
Wait, Edgeworth, have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet?
Don't be ridiculous, why would I? Our temple is like an island. No way to escape but to cross.
No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth.
Talking about...
Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the earthquake.
And you think that Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation?
Listen, Edgeworth, I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt isn't necessary.
Right?
Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall's sacred cavern now.
Alright, let's go.
February 9th, Inner Temple Training Hall. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in. But what we found was something none of us could have ever expected. How can there be
Even more locks.
What is the meaning of this? Iris! Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on?
Alright, that's a really good spot to stop it.
next time we figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, alright, sweet. We will find out more stuff next time. We will continue with the investigation. And eventually, sooner or later, you go back to trial. We might be able to finish this in one more go. But it'll be a long story. For sure. So, let's see if I can't make that happen this weekend. But since I'm studying for a midterm, probably not. I'll let you know how the studying goes, and then we'll go from there. So, that having been said, I wish you a good night. See you later. So, bye bye. Bye bye.